We live in a world of lists. I think we all know that. We even have a new word, listicle. It's for an article that's just a list. And we've all seen them. These are the 13 best vacation spots in the world. These are the 40 most powerful people in Hollywood under the age of 40. These are the 23 books you absolutely have to read before you die, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Which always strikes me as rude. I mean, we're all going to die, but some people are closer to that than others. You know, and I just imagine some poor person who's just trying to spend time with his family and getting his affairs in order, and he looks over at the table and there's War and Peace, and he says, I haven't even started that yet. My life is a failure, according to BuzzFeed. So I try to stay away from lists and listicles. But it occurred to me the other day, if somebody were to ask me to make a list, off the top of my head, of, let's say, 3 significant human achievements in the modern era, I would probably say the polio vaccine, landing men on the moon and bringing them safely back to Earth, and the fact that in 1999, for many months across this country, a movie called A Sixth Sense played in many theaters and nobody told the secret. Nobody told the secret. This is amazing to me. I mean, I'm sure somebody told the secret because some people are jerks, but mostly no one told the secret. They went to see it and then they said, you should go see this, but that's all I'm saying. Just go see it and then we'll talk about it later. I mean, it's been 16 years and I have talked about this movie with people, and I've noticed that some of them are pretty reticent to discuss the secret, the ending, like it's Lord Voldemort. You know, it's the plot twist that shall not be named. Anyway, I bring this up because I wanted to tell you about a scene in a movie. In a movie I love, but then I realized if you haven't seen the movie, even though it's been around for a really long time, but if you haven't seen it, then that would be kind of a spoiler, because you would find out a plot development that you're not supposed to find out until later on in the movie. And I couldn't figure out what to do about that. And then I thought, and I'm really, really, really proud of myself for this. I thought, I just won't tell you the name of the movie. And that way, if you haven't seen it, then you'll never guess it. And if you have seen it, you might recognize the scene or you might not. It doesn't matter. But it's a scene I thought about a lot on August 24th, 2006, which is the day my friend David came over to my house to pick me up, to drive me across the Kwame Pass to Sundown. He had done that many times before, by the way. He was really good at taking people over there. It made him happy. He felt good. He felt like it strengthened him. And it just made him happy to help somebody else. I understood this, and he was happy that day. He loaded my suitcase into the car, and we drove off, and he was talking a mile a minute, as he always does, and he was singing to himself, and he was humming, and he was whistling. I mean, it was like taking a road trip with Julie Andrews. Meanwhile, I'm looking out the window trying to gauge how fast we're going and how much it would hurt if I jumped out of the car while we were moving up a mountain. We were in different states of mind. But we got there to Sundown, and we said our goodbyes, and he went back home, probably whistling all the way. Good deed done, for which I am eternally grateful. And I did what people do in those situations. I waited, and I filled out paperwork, and I waited some more, and I signed my name a few more times, and then I waited some more, and then they moved me someplace else, and I waited some more, and then I initialed some things, and then I filled out more forms, and I waited some more, and I had plenty of time to think, and I thought about the scene from this movie that I won't tell you the name of. And this scene takes place in a minimum security prison. And I know this, we know this, because first of all, there's just a regular chain link fence, and then there's, I think, a view of like the ocean. Looks like a nice place for being a prison. And there's a picnic table, and there's an older man in an orange jumpsuit, so he's obviously the prisoner. And there's a younger man who comes to visit him, and they don't have much to talk about. And so finally, the younger man says to him, "So, how are you doing?" And the older man says, "I'm incarcerated. How do you think I'm doing?" And I swear I could show you this clip without telling you anything about the movie, anything about the plot. And because this was a wonderful actor and a great delivery, you would know still that this character had never, ever, ever in his life expected to end up in prison. So I thought about that movie because that's exactly the way I felt. I mean, I felt like I was a normal person with a serious drinking problem, but a normal person who had a family who cared about him and had a house and a yard and a dog. And I was institutionalized. I had voluntarily admitted myself to a facility at the age of 48 because my life was not working and had become unmanageable. So, I had plenty of time over the next few weeks while I was there to think about that and to think about how I got there and to wonder where and when I should start looking.